Hello, everyone. Welcome to the midweek market wrap up for December 6th, 2023. What we do on the channel here each and every Wednesday is we just take a look at what has happened so far in the market, try to figure out what's going to happen into the end of the week, and all of this culminates with a video that I do each and every weekend. So, wrapping up the entire week. So, if you want to make sure you get that, go to statsedtrain.com, sign up for the email list. You get the video emailed to you, a blog post, a couple screenshots, annotate it with things that I'm looking at. And that's about it. I don't sell the email list. I don't spam people with anything like that. So go sign that up. That's a great way for me to make sure that I can kind of get a hold of everyone when need be. So without further ado, we're going to get into it. And we're actually going to start here, over here. And we're going to start with Bitcoin. So both Bitcoin and Ethereum have been wild lately. So very, very happy. I did a video of an Ethereum trade that I've been adding into as things have been going for a while now. And Bitcoin, we talked about, me getting involved in this breakout right here and then adding on this breakout right here. So far, everything is great. I'm trailing these stops at this point. I'm not really looking to sell into strength because I know these Bitcoin rallies can get absolutely insane when they happen. And I just want to bring up this right here where it was many, many weeks up in a row from 9,000 to 60,000 pretty much in a straight line. So trying to have discipline holding these things, because what Bitcoin seems to do is a whole lot of nothing for weeks or months or even years, and then very short bursts of crazy activity. So if that's what we're going to see, that's what I want to get involved in. In Bitcoin, same kind of thing we're seeing here with Ethereum, little breakout, but very much lagging that Bitcoin move. So more interested in holding the Bitcoin one longer than the Ethereum one, just because one is outperforming and one is underperforming. Now, getting into some other names, so HNT. So Helium is one that I'm watching now. Just absolute rocket ship on this name right here. It needs some sort of area to play off of, but this was a darling way back in the day of the last cycle for crypto. Fell apart, and now we're looking for a second leg on this one. So Helium is definitely something I want to keep an eye on. Now over to the dollar index as a whole. Nice push up here on the dollar index, a nice reversal. We've seen the dollar be down for many periods of time, and now we're bouncing higher. So I'm looking to have this trend continue lower. I'm just waiting for some opportunity there, and I'll show you in Euro, in the Euro USD, how one way I may play that. So if you look at Euro, we're drawing an anchored VWAP from here, coming back down, and it's tagging that now down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 days in a row. So if we get a bounce, this would be a logical place to take that. If we actually look at the pound versus the dollar, we see some relative strength here. Only down a few days in a row and very far from that anchored VWAP. So between the two of them, I'm much more interested in the pound. One thing I did want to point out here is Euro Yen. Big push up on Euro Yen when we broke this, call it 158.50. Came back down. We're holding 158.50 right now, so I'm watching this one on a short-term time frame. See if we get a little bit of a bounce from that level. Maybe it makes us continue higher here, or maybe we just get a little bounce and a fail. Either way, I think there'll be a little tradable bounce in there as well. Now, would be amiss if I just didn't go, right? This is the US dollar yen has been pulling back now for a number of weeks, hitting this anchored VWAP from this major level right here and bouncing a little bit. So if this rolls over and sells off, that might be a good trade. But just like Euro Yen, there may be a bounce opportunity here as well. And then last but not least, we'll take a look in the currency space is gold. So gold had this wicked rally that just completely got reversed, but we came into this anchored VWAP from this kind of sell-off right here. We rallied and then we hit that. So if this bounces, that's going to be another logical place to maybe take a trade here as well. There's not going to be too much to add here when we take a look at the S&P 500 and all of that, because we're still chopping in this range. We still have this range going on right here, kind of between this high and this high right here. We're still in that range. We had a pretty ugly day today, but we had an ugly day last Friday, I think this one was. just again, we're in this range. And until we break out of this range one way or another, not really too interested in getting insanely aggressive stocks one way or the other. This is why I trade this myriad of different instruments, because I always want to have something moving, even when there are times that things aren't. So going down the cap scale here, we have MDY, which is our mid caps, doing actually a little bit better than the S&P 500. And then if we go further down the cap scale, we go to IWM, which is our small caps. We have our small caps holding up as well. So this is a little bit different from things that we've normally been seeing where the market's really going and it's all of the large cap names going. Now, with the mid caps and the small caps participating, that generally to me seems like it's a little bit more of a stock pickers market. So that's where I'm going to keep an eye on the smaller cap and mid cap type names, although one of the names that we're going to look at here in a second is a large cap as well. UNG, just again, I always want to highlight this for lessons for people out there, because I remember UNG making new lows today. UNG made up at 20 bucks. People were saying, hey, this thing's gone from 30 to 20. I should buy it here. And then it went from 20 to 10. I should buy it. I should keep buying this thing because it's oversold. And I kept saying, there's no such thing as oversold. And as we broke out of this range to the downside, this is exactly what you expect to see happen. So if we go to the weekly chart, I was waiting for a breakout above this area right here, but we never got that. Instead, we got a breakdown. And this is why we wait for some sort of trend to confirm our thesis. Now that it's broke down, there's no reason to look for natural gas for me. So 2 names that I'm interested in. One is FTDR. Don't know really anything about these, much like normal. But FTDR, we're still waiting to get the anchored VWAP tool on these web charts. But if you draw the anchored VWAP from right before this gap, it's been hugging right under this base right here. So what I'm looking at is just this high right here, and then we have this low right here. If we can break through that base, that one's interesting to me. It's got a 4% short float, so nothing wild, but a pretty decent short float. And then we have Meta, META, with Meta. And Meta is the same thing. If you draw the anchored VWAP from this candle right here, I get a lot of questions on where to draw the anchored VWAP from. This one, to me, should be obvious because you had this big sell-off and a massive reversal from that level. And that happened on really large volume. So those two combined make this interesting. And we are right at that anchored VWAP right now. So if we can reclaim this kind of 320 on Meta, I'm interested to see if it comes back up to 340. The reason I love these anchored VWAP pullback plays is because if we're in this area and then we just break the anchored VWAP, my risk is super tiny. So my risk is kind of from 320 to say maybe 310. So 315 to 310. So 5 to 10 points of risk, where if we just get back to here, that's 20 points of upside. So anywhere between 1 to 2 to 1 to 4 risk reward on trades like this. And that's exactly what I'm after. So that's it for this midweek market wrap up. Again, we're going to do something more on the weekend, so stay tuned to that. Hopefully we get a breakout in the market one way or the other, but I just want to, very important, especially if you're a new trader, that you just take these times when the market's not doing anything to do something else. So I took a long time today. You can see I'm kind of redoing my office. I've got algorithms that I'm working on, all kinds of things that kind of keep me away from at least the equity market, looking at crypto and Forex and things like that. Then there'll be times that it cycles back. So if you only trade equities, for example, then you have to have things to do that are outside of that to make sure that you're not forcing yourself to kind of get involved when nothing's happening in the market. So thank you everyone for coming by. Again, go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list. I'll talk to you guys soon.